It has been a privilege to bring my husband's story to you today. I hope it will help all of you face your challenges too. Like my husband, countless men and women who have suffered from a neurological illness have found help through comprehensive rehabilitation programs. Joining me today is Patricia Ostaszewski, Chief Executive Officer of Health South in Toms River. Patricia, welcome to the Best Years.
Thank you, Sandy. It's a pleasure to be here.
And I personally want to thank you and Health South for everything you've done for Michael. Getting back to work was so important to him, and it's really made all the difference.
Michael is a very special employee, and we are so thankful to have him on our staff.
Now, neurological illnesses, many of our viewers are senior citizens. They're a particular risk for neurological illnesses. What are some of the types of illnesses you see most frequently?
Well, stroke is probably the most common neurological condition that we do see in the elderly population, but also Parkinson's disease. We do see people with brain tumors, as well as multiple sclerosis, cerebral aneurysms, and cerebral hemorrhage, sometimes after an older individual falls.
Now, some of these conditions can't be prevented, but as we've seen, the consequences from a neurological problem are devastating. Is there anything people can do to help protect themselves?
The best thing an individual can do is really to be proactive. Know your body, know your blood pressure, see your doctor routinely, know if there's any medications that you're on that could place you at risk for a neurological condition. Basically, it is really just to see your doctor and really be aware if you're feeling unsteady, if you have a headache. Make sure you're discussing those symptoms with your healthcare professional.
So there often are warning signs, and I have to say, when my husband first got sick, and I was ignoring some of those warning signs that he was getting, some numbness in his hand. What are some of the warning signs, for instance, of stroke? And I imagine getting help immediately is very important.
Warning signs are very individual, actually. It could be signs of a headache. Some people would get numbness and tingling in an extremity, particularly on one particular side of their body. Some people feel unsteady. Some people just have a change in their cognitive status. Some people might have a change in their vision. And so the most important thing is fast treatment, to get to your emergency room and get treatment as soon as possible. Because what we now learn is that the nervous system, the neurological system, can recover. And there's a lot of function that can come back to individuals. So for anyone who experiences a stroke or a neurological condition, the outlook can be quite positive, as it has been with your husband, Michael.
But very important to get help immediately.
Immediate help is really key to a successful outcome.
Now, before my husband's experience, I knew absolutely nothing about rehabilitation. And for our viewers who may not be familiar with how rehabilitation works, can you describe what this whole discipline is about?
Well, oftentimes, you're not unusual, to be quite honest. Oftentimes, people don't know about rehabilitation hospitals until they need one.
Right.
And the care provided at a rehabilitation hospital is very program specific. So for Michael, it would be a neurological program, and his program included care from rehab nurses, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, and the team is led by a physiatrist, a doctor who specializes in physical medicine and rehabilitation. But definitely the stroke program that we offer at Health South is certified by two organizations, the Joint Commission and our own individual company, and is probably second to none in the area. Our outcomes have been outstanding, but you want to look for a rehab provider that has specific programs in neurological and stroke.
But rehab itself, for instance, if one is paralyzed, it's a matter of retraining those muscles, working those muscles. Just describe a little bit how it actually works. I watched my husband regain the ability to walk again, regain the ability to think clearly again. How does this happen? It's a complicated question, but the body and the brain can heal.
Most definitely. And it is a process that takes some time, but our physical, occupational, and speech therapists are highly trained and skilled to help individuals with neurological conditions and stroke. We've also incorporated a lot of technology into the care that we offer at Health South, which has truly had an impact on patients' outcomes and getting them back to home so that they can resume whatever they were doing before they had this condition.
And even 15 years ago, a lot of people would never have survived some of the illnesses and accidents that people now today do survive. And in rehab, there's been so many advances and just in the techniques as well as the equipment. What are some of those possibilities that are offered now that didn't exist before?
Well, a lot of the technology that we use in rehab, such as our auto-ambulator, was not around 15 years ago.
And how does that work, the auto-ambulator?
The auto-ambulator actually is a assisted treadmill device, and it retrains the brain on how to help an individual relearn to walk. We have had so many wonderful clinical positive outcomes by using this device. But also there's been a lot of research and evidence-based medicine in rehabilitation, which has contributed to the modalities and the techniques that our therapists use, which again has a positive outcome for individuals in getting them back home safely.
And I've spent some time at Health South since my husband now works there and in doing a documentary about rehabilitation. You really, it's a great feeling to see people putting their lives back together. You must enjoy seeing a lot of wonderful outcomes.
Indeed, that is the case. Our average length of stay at Health South is about 14 to 20 days, but we see so many patients during that time make remarkable recoveries. In fact, 80 to 85% of our patients do go back home, and it is a very rewarding part of the healthcare continuum to see patients make such wonderful progress and be discharged back home with their families safely.
And the studies also show, as far as recovery goes, the quality of the rehabilitation, the amount of effort both the patient and the family put into the rehabilitation matter.
When patients come, they are definitely an active part of their own rehabilitation, and having a supportive family or significant other often makes the difference in getting them back home.
Patricia Ostaszewski from Health South, thank you so much for being here on The Best Years Today.
Thank you so much, Sandy. It was a pleasure to be with you today.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about the programs offered through Health South Rehabilitation Hospitals, visit their website at rehabnj.com. I'd also like to encourage you to join me at Health South's conference, Life's Challenges, Turning Disabilities into Possibilities, on Tuesday, September 29th. I'll be sharing my family's story of recovery, and there will be workshops and information about living the best life with a disability. When we return, we'll meet a man who sees the world through the universal language of laughter. Stay tuned.